Greetings everyone, Tapua here from Chartered Accountants Academy. Today we're going to be revising CTA 1 end of year, on the end of semester exam. Today we're going to be dealing with required C, which required us to calculate weighted average cost of capital of PTGS as at 31 December 2018. So if you're asked this question without even without even going too deep, you just need to put a table before you do anything. And what does your table? You have your instruments here, instrument, and then you have the market values, you have the weights here, you have the cost, and then you have the work. Before you even think, make sure if you're asked to calculate work, you have this table first things before you do anything else. So now that we have to go back to our scenario, so I've just extracted the points that are relevant, or the pages that are relevant for us to calculate our work. So our work is all about capital. So we're looking for the long-term capital to finance the business, and each capital comes with a cost. For example, shareholders require dividends. If it's a loan require interest. If it's preference share, they require their dividends. So the cost is what we're interested in. So if you look at this schedule of equity and liabilities, we can see that we have share capital of 1.670 million, which is told in note 4. So we can just go to note 4 to confirm whether this is a permanent source of finance. And on note 4, we are told that, okay, note 4 is starting from here, going to the next page. We're told that these are ordinary shares, so therefore they are permanent source of finance, and then they are 6.7 million in issue and currently trading at 90 cents, which means so our market value, we're just going to say 90 times this one, then we get our market value. And where do we put our this market value? Come here and say shares. The market value we've calculated, we put it here. And where did we get this information? Sorry about that. We got this from calculation 1. Referencing is another key thing you need to do. So if you go on calculation 1, we're going to find shares, right? So we're saying the market value of these shares is going to be 6.7 what times 90 cents, right? Or 0.90, and then the value we get here, we just post it right here. Then we move on. That's how you'll be scoring marks. For example, if time runs out and you have put that, the examiner will just go and mark you for what you have so far. So we're also given government average borrowing rate, we're giving treasury bills and all. What is this information relating us to? How do we calculate the cost of equity? We have the dividend growth model, and also we have the CAPAM model. So given this information, can you see that it's leading us to a CAPAM, and which risk-free rate should we use? Isn't the CAPAM formula is risk-free plus beta and RM, right? This is the market risk premium or the equity risk. Okay, so we're going to take 8.3 since it is a treasury bill expiring in 2028. 2028 is quite a long period from 2018, which estimates better the lifetime of this company. So if we go to our working here, we're just saying the cost of equity, we're going to be using the risk-free rate plus beta and RM. So just make sure you detail this, and then you input your figures. And then on the beta side, what were we given on beta? On beta, we were given an ungeared beta. This was very critical. We were given an ungeared beta of a proxy company. If we were given an ungeared beta, all we needed to do was just to redeliver it using PTG's debt to equity ratio. Students fail to calculate debt to equity ratio in applying the Amada formula. Debt to equity ratio is just debt over equity. This is what we mean by debt to equity ratio. You lack understanding of debt to equity ratio is simply total debt divided by total equity. Most of you divided the total debt by total capital. Total capital, which is equity plus debt. Whereas debt to equity, you should just divide debt and equity. Simple. And also, beta was adjusted for qualitative factors which were not applicable. In this case, we only told that Blue Pharmaceutical Company is a similar company to PTG, is an ungeared beta. Where did you get the other qualitative factors that you adjusted the beta for? You did not apply yourselves in the question presented, but rather showcase principles from another question you attempted during practice. This scenario did not give any comparative information on which qualitative adjustments could be made. So you're just supposed to redeliver the ungeared beta of 0.845. And then on the market risk, we told that the equity risk premium is 6%. So this is where we're going to put our 6%. And from there, we can calculate our cost of equity. If we move on to note 4, let's see which are the instruments. So we have dealt with this instrument. Non-distributable reserves. Is this a source of funding? It's an internal source and does not have any. Same applies to the retained earnings. These are internal sources, and internal sources do not have any cost of capital. And then if you go to the shareholders loan on note 5, so you can just state our reason of excluding these non-distributable reserves and retained earnings. Just stating why you are not including them in your calculations will also earn you a mark. So on the shareholders loan, if you go to note 5, this is a non-interest bearing loan. Before you even think, it's a non-interest bearing, which means the cost is 0. So we should state why we are excluding it. Shareholder loan is non-interest, therefore no cost. Simple. 1 mark, and then we move on. Before you even think, you don't have to think too deep. If you go to the long-term portion of debenture, we have note 6 here, and also we have a short-term portion of this debenture, which is a note 6. Note 6 gives us the book value estimates, the market values, and it's redeemable in 5 years. So if it's redeemable in 5 years, this means that it's a permanent source of funding. Also, we told the nominal value is 5 million. The debentures pay a semi-annual interest at 9.4%. All right, so where is this short-term and long-term portion accounted for? This is from FINAC. In math, all we have is a debenture. We went and borrowed money from a bank or from a financial institution, and they gave us a debenture of $5 million. Being it being short term or long term, this is a FINAC issue, and at a MANAC point of view, all we want is the total debenture, which is the capital that we invested in the business. So in this case, we just had to add the 4.3 and the 870, and if we add the 2, we're going to get our market value. And why are we taking that as our market value? Because we've been told that the book value of the debenture, the book value is the 4.3 plus 870. That's the book value. We told that it estimates the market values. So if we add the 2, we're going to put our debenture here and then put the value that we found there. And also on the interest, it pays a semi-annual interest of 9.4%. So if you're saying the book value estimates the market value, it also means that the interest also estimates the market. So all we just had to do was to adjust for tax on this interest, which is 9.4 times 0.7425, which is adjusting the tax. And what do we do with that cost? We put the cost, we put the cost over here. And on the work, I'm sure we now have our calculation. This is our cost of work. And then we put it over here. Let's see if we have any other instruments. The bank overdraft was taken to finance a working capital gap. Is expected to be fully paid in 2019, which means this is not a permanent source of funding. Do we have anything else? That was all. So these are the only two instruments that we have. If we add them, what we get here, then we say this one divided by this one, we get the weight. This one divided by this one, we get the weight here. And then we multiply the weight and the cost, weight and cost, to get our weighted average cost of capital. This was a fairly easy question, and I also expected better results from students. Unfortunately, some of you let me down. And another pitfall was poor referencing lost students' critical marks. For example, if you didn't reference your work here, you're going to lose marks. Calculations were not referenced, which shows pure exam technique. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you benefited from it. If you have any further queries, feel free to visit the Manfin department. You can email us at manfin@CAA, or you can just book a consult either on WhatsApp or a physical consult. We'll be very glad to help you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.